Hello, everyone. You never know with these webinars. Sometimes they have a little bit of a lag, so if I'm cut off at the beginning, I just want to welcome you here to this webinar series. I'm Amy Engelmark, and I've had a little bit too much coffee this morning. You know, coffee makes you feel good, but it also can get your heart racing. So it's a good combination for right now. This webinar that I run every week on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. is called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. So you are most welcome to be here. Thanks for joining me live, and for all of you who are going to watch this replay, I am happy you're watching as well. You can find out more about me. You can check out everything you need to know about what I offer and how I can help you at amyengelmark.com. I'll just type that in here to this chat bar, which is on the right for you. If you could go ahead and let me know your name and where you're from, that would be really helpful, and I can start welcoming you and get the ball rolling for our training today, which I'm really excited to share with you. So I see you are popping on now. Great to have you on live. Hi, Meta. Great. It's fun to have you here. So Meta's from Cumberland. Welcome. You kind of get a taste of my dining area here, just off of my kitchen. Who else is joining us? I'm just gonna grab my water. Lisa in the UK. Woohoo! Lisa, you made it on. Webinars are so great because anyone can join, right? Social media is so awesome for that. It's so great to connect us all. Who else is joining us today? I know, I'm happy you're here, Lisa. So awesome. So awesome to be in contact with you. I see more of you are hopping on live. This is so great. I just want to say that 90% of success is just showing up in life, showing up in your personal life, in your businesses, in your relationships, just showing up and being willing to work things out, work on yourself. That's when the results start rolling in and changes start taking place. So I was just saying to the other ladies, please put your name and where you're from in the chat room here. To the left, I guess. Can't tell which way I should be pointing. Oh, great. So Lisa is saying that her daughter's on her way to Vancouver, so she's here instead. And so let Mary know that, well, Mary, that if you get to watch the replay, I hope you enjoy this as well. Because Lisa, you're more than welcome to share it with her. All right, so as you pop on, put your name and where you're from in the chat bar, and we will get going. So I want to tell you I have some freebies here for those of you who are on live. You're welcome, Lisa. This is a really cool book that I picked up, and they're really popular right now. And the reason that I want to give this away to somebody on the call live today is because it's really helpful in decreasing stress. And most of us have too much stress in life. And so I have filled this with some quotes, and I'm going to write a personal note to you once I know who it's going to, and mail it off in the mail to you so that you'll have something from me, and you can have encouragement and inspiration from me that I've written on the pages. tools and strategies and helpful reminders to get your mind back on track when you go into a negative space and you need to kind of reclaim your thoughts. So it's this book here. It's one of those coloring books, and they're beautiful flower images. There's a little note from me, but you can't see what it is. So I'm going to ask a couple questions throughout the training. And if you can give me the answer, if you're the first one to give me the answer, then I will send you that book. For everyone, no matter if you're on this live or if you are watching the replay, I have 2 chapters of my upcoming book that's nearly ready to be published. It's called From Burnout to Bliss, and it's a 30-day challenge for real high achievers to create more freedom and more fun and more time to just relax and not let life stress you out so much. So those 2 chapters I am going to post now in the chat bar here. So they're at the top there. It's just a sneak peek of my book so that you can see who I am and the tools that I can offer you, and you can start applying them right away. I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how it applies to this training today, and then I'm going to hop in and share my screen with you and some slides I've created to give you some really awesome visuals. So when I was in my early 20s, early 20s, late teens, I was quite free. I am free now, thankfully, again, in many ways. Back then, I had a lot of time freedom, and I surfed a lot, I rode my bike a lot, I played a lot, and that brought a lot of energy into my life and happiness, and really enjoyed a lot of great, healthy relationships. And I met my husband when I was 19, and then we quickly got married. It was like an easy fit for us. We really knew we wanted each other in our lives. What came along with marriage was humongous personal growth, learning to communicate, love unconditionally, be empathetic, so many things about being involved in someone else's life intimately and having to consider them in your decision making. Then came along 2 children before I was ready for kids, but it ended up obviously being the right time in my life. And then I threw business into the mix. So maybe I was a little bit crazy, but I started to feel like I actually lost my own identity. I didn't really know how to create healthy boundaries for myself yet in some areas of life. And so, yeah, I feel like I lost part of who I was back then. And I lived to please others in certain ways, and that's not a good thing, obviously. I started to feel really stressed out, overwhelmed. I was juggling so much with my training and being a mom and a wife and a friend and a daughter. My goodness, right? So many of us do that. And so I started doing my coaching training, and I started applying everything I was learning in my training to my own life. And I started to see some massive improvements. I started reading everything I could on self-care and life balance and stress management and applied it to my life. I started teaching other women, and I've coached some men as well, how to implement these strategies and the systems that I use and I've created from my training. And they started getting the same results, and they started to reclaim their time, reclaim their happiness, reclaim their health, and be able to create life balance for themselves. So that brings me to where I'm at, and I've created this program called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. It's a 6-month-long training program, and it's really, really powerful. People get great results in the program. I'll tell you more about that later. That's a little bit about me, and I really look forward to hearing from all of you. Feel free as I'm training to comment in the chat bar, ask questions. I may not be able to get to the questions while I'm in the training, but I will answer them at the end, and I'd be happy to. We'll have a bit of time for Q&A then, and any questions you have are great questions. So today's training is called A Fantastically Simple Recipe to Increase Your Productivity and at the same time to boost your energy. So I'm excited to share that with you today because a lot of you may think, or some of you may think, that the two can't go hand in hand, productivity and high energy levels. Because when your productivity is really high and you're very successful, like many of you, then what happens is your health gets completely lost, or you just push it to the back of your plate and then you gain weight. Your relationships suffer. You can't think as clear. It's harder to make decisions, and these negative effects start taking place. The truth of the matter is you can have this sweet balance in your life, and that's what this training is all about. So I'm going to hop into the screen share portion of the training and share with you my slides. My husband is actually coming home right at the moment, and so we'll just wait until he gets what he needs and we can get on with our training. Honey, I'm on a live training, so you need to go and do your thing. All right, here is the slides. Okay, so like I said, this program is called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. And it's weekly. We run it Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, but you get the replays if you sign up. Every week you can get notified of when it's happening so you don't forget, and you can book it into your calendar. These calls are all focused on a few different topics, so they change weekly. And I cover everything from creating life balance to time management, decreasing your stress, and I share with you the strategies and the systems that have helped the clients that I work with in my group coaching as well as privately, and systems that I use in my own life, right? So if you want more free time, you want to boost your health, you want peace of mind, you're definitely in the right place. These are some of the women I've worked with in small group settings live when I've hosted my workshops. Like I said, stick around because I have this beautiful flower coloring book for one of you, and all of you get my free chapters in an ebook version. So I have a beautiful promise for you today. For all of you who are busy and you want to be able to have this balance, you want to be able to have it all, travel, fun, better health, you want to build that foundation for success. Well, I'm going to help you, and I promise we're going to have a lot of fun because I like to have a lot of fun. That's one of my top values. Even in a stressful moment, if you can throw a little fun in there, it breaks up the stress, right? I'm going to show you the habits that are specific, the specific steps you need to take so that you can be successful, productive, have more freedom, have more fun. Whoop. Here we go. So these are the strategies that I share on these calls. They're going to help you manage your stress better. Even in the next 30 days, if you put into place things that I share on these webinars, you're going to notice shifts in your life and different results. So if you felt stuck in old habits, I'm going to show you how you can break through and get unstuck. I'll also show you how to overcome some fears that may have been holding you back, any kind of self-doubt, and I'll show you how to make yourself a priority and where things need to shift so that you can find more free time. It's so important that you master your emotions and your thought life. So if you want to be able to feel alive again, you want to feel like you have some control over certain areas that have felt out of control, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we'll dive into getting really ultra clear on what your goals are so that you are not committing to other things instead of your own priorities. So I'm going to show you a little bit, reveal to you a little bit about my background and what I have been doing, so you know a little bit more about me. I'm the author of the upcoming book I was telling you about, From Burnt Out to Bliss. I've been a speaker for many years now, a coach, trainer, mentor. I've worked with many, many entrepreneurs, lots of healthcare professionals, doctors and nurses, dental assistants, a lot of executives and people who are ready to commit to themselves and to make a shift, and they want to be able to conquer their stress. I've hosted live workshops with small groups and large numbers of women from all over North America, some in person, some over Skype. This is me with some of the groups that I've worked with in the middle of teaching and training, and I've also worked with self-care focused groups and caregivers who really need to learn how to put themselves first again instead of always giving to others first. I absolutely love nature, love my bike. Don't spend as much time on my surfboard lately as I would like to, but that will come. I am declaring. So this is me. We usually take a couple trips to the West Coast. My son Gavin is 10, he's on the right, and my son Simon's there, just a little shorter than Gavin. They're 8 and 10. Here's Gavin and I on where we were hiking a trail somewhere that day. So my family's very dear to me. It's one of my top values is feeling connected with them. I love having fun with them. We love the outdoors. So today's topic, let's jump in. A fantastically simple recipe to increase your productivity, even if you're really successful right now, and boost your energy at the same time. These are the ingredients you're going to need and what I'm going to teach on today. I'm going to help you solidify your goals and create a rock solid plan. Because without one, you can be foggy and uncertain, and then you don't move forward as quickly as you might want to. The second ingredient you need to be productive and have lots of energy is to be open to learning. Then the third is to prioritize your health. Because if you don't prioritize your health, you're not going to have the energy you want, and your relationships will not do as well. Everything's affected when you don't take care of yourself as well as you know you want to. The fourth ingredient is to block out distractions. And then the final ingredient I'm going to talk on today is to get help. It's actually a strength, not a weakness, to get help. So, get out your pen and paper because I need you to write these things down. It's going to help you remember them. It's going to help you apply them later when you reflect on your notes. The first point is to create goals and a plan. So write that down. Where do you want to go? If you don't have goals and you don't have a plan, how are you going to get there? I don't know about you, but when I don't write things down and I don't have goals and I don't have a clear plan, I feel frustrated and I start to feel uncertain. I start to feel overwhelmed with so many things on my plate and no clearly defined priorities. So you need that. If you're going to be productive, you got to know what you're aiming for. You got to know what you ideally want in your life. If you want to be more productive, how are you going to get there? So you're going to need to create very clear steps for yourself and make sure that you are not creating steps that are unrealistic to attain in, say, a week. Break down your steps. Make sure they're in bite-sized pieces so that you go from victory to victory to victory. No matter how small those victories are, when you take small steps, you're going to build your confidence and you're going to create this inner motivation to be able to have success in your life. Because when you're externally motivated by somebody else or what somebody else thinks your life should look like or the actions you should take, that motivation doesn't last very long. But believe me, you're going to rock it when you have internal motivation. And that comes from consistently taking small actions that lead you towards your goals. So this is some work that you might want to do later. Well, I would suggest that you do this later. Create clear goals for yourself. What does it mean? Like, how am I going to become more productive? How am I going to increase my energy levels? What's your ideal goal for your energy levels? How would you become more energetic? Feel like that every day? How would you increase your productivity? What's your end goal in those two areas of your life? Break down the steps. Create a plan for yourself, a mini map. This is going to really help you avoid overwhelm and uncertainty. If you look up into those trees, it's hard to see the light, right? So you can get crowded in and start to feel overwhelmed and unclear if you don't have that plan. We're on to our second point, which is be open to learning. I want to tell you about this book I've been reading, and I just think it's fabulous. The woman's name, the author's name is Carol Dweck, and the book's called Mindset. Some of you may have read it, I'm not sure. Carol talks about how we can have two different mindsets. One is a fixed mindset, one is a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, then you're not as open to learning and you can stay stuck in an area of your life that you actually want to have growth in. What's interesting is when you have a growth mindset, you're not afraid of learning. You're not afraid of goofing up and looking silly or stupid in front of other people because you don't get things the first time round. A growth mindset says, I can take on this challenge, and if I don't get it the first time, or even if I don't get it the first 5 times, it's going to be okay. And I only fail when I stop growing, when I stop learning. Here's some examples of a growth mindset. I find lessons and inspiration in other people's success. So if you have a fixed mindset, you don't want to really learn from other people because maybe that means that you're lacking in some area or you're incompetent. Those are beliefs, those are lies that can go around in your mind that you need to check before you just believe them. Other growth mindsets are, I have a positive internal dialogue, I'm getting better. So how do you treat yourself in your mind? When you're open to growth, you're going to need to change your thoughts so that you're encouraging yourself instead of beating yourself up for not being, quote, perfect, which none of us are. There's been studies that are done, and Carol talks about them in this book, of children in school settings and young adults who are evaluated with either the growth mindset or fixed mindset. And I really loved one example that she used because it showed that some children, they welcomed a challenge. They welcomed something that they were given in school, I think it was actually a puzzle that was really challenging, because to them, continually working at this puzzle until they got it meant that they were growing, that they were learning, that they were expanding. And you and I, we need to do the same thing. We need to be comfortable making mistakes. We need to be okay with criticism, because otherwise, how are you supposed to become a better person if you can't learn from your mistakes? If you can't learn from something that didn't go the way that you wanted it to go? So take a look at yourself and ask yourself if you feel like maybe in some areas of your life you do have a fixed mindset. And what could you do about that? How could you be more gentle with yourself and more open to learning? In my opinion, learning is definitely a natural energy boost. Because once you're okay with not being perfect, other people actually look at you and view you as stronger when you're willing to mess up and move on. It's a beautiful quality about people that are willing to do that. Because you, as that person, your energy is going to naturally increase inside. You're going to start viewing yourself as an overcomer. You're going to start viewing yourself as victorious and capable and strong inside, because you're growing. You're becoming a better person, and that gives you an energy boost. Our next step, point number 3, the next ingredient, is to take breaks. So smart people take breaks. Smart people take breaks, and they're gentle on themselves mentally. They give themselves permission to take breaks, because they know that when they do, they become more creative. They get better ideas. They're able to think more clearly. They're able to make decisions with confidence. Because when you're always stuck in work mindset, when you're only focused on plowing ahead in your business, whatever goals you're pursuing in life, and you're one track minded, then you're not as open to balance. And I think fear lives in that place. Sometimes people can be afraid that if they don't just focus on achieving their goals, that their productivity will decline. And actually, the truth is your productivity is going to increase when you give yourself permission to take a break. Put down your phone. Turn off all the beeps and buzzing. Don't turn on your TV. Get outside. Stay inside. Put your feet up. Whatever a break looks like to you, it's going to increase your productivity. It's going to re-energize you. You're going to feel like you're worth it, so your value will improve. Whatever comes first, either you changing your thinking to, I deserve this break, I work hard, this is something that I'm going to give myself because I'm valuable. And when people are valuable, they show themselves through their actions. So whether your thinking changes or your action changes first, I don't care. But something needs to change if you're not giving yourself a break right now and you want energy. Working like stink, working your butt off, is not going to give you more energy necessarily. It may in the short term, but unless you're Superwoman and have superpowers that the rest of the human population don't have, I do have a stash of superpower goodies. I'm just kidding. Then you're going to be at risk of burning out, feeling worn out, feeling depleted. And I don't want you to get there. So follow these steps. It's helpful for you to reevaluate your expectations as well. Are you being realistic as you push forward in life, in your work, towards your goals? Or are your goals actually depleting you of energy because they're unattainable? Some of you have unattainable expectations for yourself, And some of you need to raise your standards and challenge yourself more so that you can prove to yourself what you're actually capable of. You'll be amazed, some of you who need to raise your standards, at who you can become. And others, you need to be careful and gentle with yourself, because your worth isn't tied to your work. You're not just valuable for what you do. You're valuable for who you are. Remember that. Your thinking. This picture here, trust and belief, they are the keys that are going to help you feel more energized. When you can believe that everything won't fall apart, life won't end when you take a break. You know, all your efforts won't fizzle, your success won't decrease just because you take a break. People aren't going to judge you. Well, maybe some people will judge you if you take a break. Maybe they'll think you're lazy. Maybe they'll think you're a slacker if you take a break. Maybe you'll think that about yourself, but if you do, you need to change those thoughts to support yourself rather than depleting you of energy. And believe me, little by little, as you change these thought patterns and these habits in your mind, and I can do another webinar on transforming beliefs. Actually, I'm going to write that down because I think that would be helpful for some of you. A lot of you. Definitely was helpful for me when I was learning about it. When you transform your beliefs, it's going to support you and empower you in these certain areas of your life where maybe some of you have been beating yourself up and not giving yourself permission to have breaks, not giving yourself permission to travel, not giving yourself permission to, you know, spend more time with your family or your girlfriends. And I want to encourage you to kind of look at your thought life and capture your thoughts before they run your life, before you just choose to believe them blindly. Because you may have some old beliefs that are really limiting your life right now. And I want you to be able to have breakthroughs. And that's going to require you to be self-aware enough. Oh my. I think that I haven't been screen sharing. Can you let me know if everyone is seeing this now? That would be great. I apologize. This screen sharing deal. Anyways, you should be seeing the images now. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, good. Thanks, Meta. So I don't know why I thought that I was just seeing a little sign saying that I wasn't presenting. Okay, good. Trust and belief. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for the feedback. When I ask for feedback, it's so helpful. So thank you for the feedback. Yeah, to get back to trust and belief, I'm really passionate about helping you transform your beliefs, because when you can get a hold of these tools that are going to help you make these shifts, then your habits will change, how you feel will change, and so many different results that you want to see happening in your life are going to start showing up. Let's move on. Here's a testimonial of one of my clients who really changed her thinking patterns. She is a physician here on Vancouver Island, a sweet woman who was feeling really overwhelmed and frustrated in her thought life. She was not being good to herself. She wasn't getting the exercise she wanted. She wasn't aware of how to create life balance between her very full practice, her husband's needs, her child, she now has 2 children now, their needs, and really be able to show herself love and care and overcome some eating habits that she also wanted to kick as well. And when she worked with me, you can see here that she began to become much more self-aware so that she could tell when she was feeling stressed. and then allowed herself, gave herself permission to have a break, like we've been talking about, her energy improved, her sleep improved. She transformed her belief system with the tools that I coached her on. So that's an awesome testimonial I just wanted to share with you, and to remind you also that if you want to see more testimonials, you can go to amyengelmark.com/testimonials, and I'll put that link at the bottom of the screen too. Okay, we're on to point number 4, the 4th ingredient. You're going to need to prioritize your health. So whether you need to prioritize your health physically or spiritually, maybe you need to prioritize your emotional health. I don't know what area of your health needs the most attention right now, but you do, right? And if you don't prioritize your health, how are you supposed to have that energy? How are you supposed to be more productive and see even more success in your life? So do you need to create a deeper relationship with you and God? Do you know that would add to your own sense of value and purpose in this life? Maybe you need to prioritize your health physically by taking a better look at what you're eating. Is that making you feel mental and a little insane because you drink too much coffee in the day? Maybe you eat too much sweets. Maybe you're eating too much fast food. Maybe you're not eating enough because you're too stressed or too busy. So is it what you're eating? Maybe take a look at, are you getting the exercise that you want to be getting? If no, where can you start fitting it in? And my challenge for you this week, if this is you, to start fitting it in. Stop making excuses. You can live your life by making excuses and never have the results you want to see in your life. So be realistic with yourself. Have I been making excuses for too long? Have I just been telling myself that I don't have enough time? Because if you have, you're going to believe you don't have enough time. You won't make any time for yourself, and the cycle will continue. So you got to get out of the cycle sometime. Break the cycle and hop off on a new train. Maybe you need to prioritize your emotional health. If you're not giving yourself the time of day, then how are you supposed to ever improve as a person, as a woman, as a man who is successful in life? If you're successful in one area, why not allow yourself to be successful in this area as well? Why not feel like a rock star in your health? Why not feel like, man, I can own this body? Man, I can own my heart? I just love how I'm feeling spiritually right now. Like, why not feel that way? So make time for your health. Figure out in your goals and in your plan, how am I going to be making more time to eat better, making more time to get to know God, to connect with the spiritual side that I've been craving. Maybe I'm going to make time to exercise, even if it's for 20 minutes, 2 times a week. I'm going to develop that new habit. There is power that lies in your ability to make a decision. You know, when somebody stops smoking, it doesn't have to take years. It can actually happen in an instant. And it does happen. It happens in the instant that you decide to create a new habit. Your power lies in your decision. A decision means to cut off from all other options. You can do it. Okay. I was reading these stats and I loved them. And it said that people who eat healthy consistently, who make time to work out, even if it's for 30 minutes, 3 times a week, maybe that's just walking, maybe it's yoga, whatever. It doesn't have to be intense boot camp or some sort of like squash or something that's more high intensity. You will increase your productivity by 15% if you prioritize this area of your life. It's proven. So you don't even have to, work your butt off more at the office or plug away at the computer at home or whatever you do for work. You can just take care of your own health needs and naturally your productivity will increase. It's beautiful. A lot of people think, well, what's the worst case scenario that will happen if I take a break, if I prioritize myself? People focus on the worst case scenario that will happen instead of the best case scenario. Why not choose to be positive? So what's the best case scenario that could happen if you actually took action on some of these goals? Do you think maybe you might fire up your intimacy with your spouse? That'd be fun. Maybe you'd fire up your zest for life and feel more alive again on all fronts, right? Maybe you'd be seeing your friends more and connecting and be able to share openly and support them because you've just made time for it. Maybe you'd be playing around more often. You could goof around with your kids, or you could feel more connected to your older kids. You know, so much is possible when you make yourself a priority. And it's better to think about what's the best case scenario that could happen instead of what's the worst case scenario, because often people spend so much of their time focusing on the worst case scenarios that you start feeling like you're in the dumps, and it holds you back from pursuing the life that you want to be living. So thinking this way is going to propel you into this beautiful future with no limits. Now I'm getting excited. Step number 4 is prioritize your health, right? So successful people do this. The unsuccessful, they don't make time for it. They don't think it's important. Step number 5, ingredient number 5 to increase productivity and energy is to block out distractions. This is a good one. And I'm even talking about blocking out the good things in your life so that you have time for the best. What do I mean by this? I mean, your sister calls you and you're in the middle of a workout and you feel compelled to answer the phone. Well, yeah, maybe you haven't connected with your sister in too long and you really want to make sure that that happens, but can she not wait and you phone her back? So get really clear on your goals and then decide what will have to wait a little bit while you focus on what's most important to you, your priorities. Don't worry, and I know sometimes it's hard to hear that, but choose to not worry or be anxious about what you might be missing out on by focusing on your priorities. Because the beautiful thing is, you are going to be able to have time for everything that's important to you. When you decide that you do have time for the most important things in your life, things will fall into place. When you prioritize your highest values, like I said, one of mine is connection. Another of mine is integrity. The things I want to feel all the time: connection, integrity, passion, adventure. When I prioritize those things in my life, those secondary good things, they fall into place. Because I believe that God loves you. God takes care of you. Your needs and even the dreams and desires of your heart are going to, they're available for you still. Just because you're saying no in the moment, I'm focusing on this more important thing right now, doesn't mean you can't have both. But you have to determine for yourself, what are those things that distract you on your journey towards increased productivity, on your journey towards increased energy? What are those things that are going to have to kind of wait on the sidelines when you're in your focused period of time during the day? I would write those down. If they're coming to mind right now, take the time and write them down. Okay. Oh, I see the seminar was freezing on you, Meta. Let me know if if you can see the webinar screen now, okay? Okay, you say a couple of times, you use the reconnect button. Sorry, there's been glitches. I'm all plugged in, right? But you never know, right? Okay, perfect. Good, Meta. Let's move on. You can always watch the replay. If you miss certain parts, then you can fast forward. So, good is the enemy of the best. Sometimes good can be the enemy of the best. So you just want to make sure, what are you aiming for? What things can wait? And then just trust that you will be able to have the time for the most important things in your life, because you will. Okay, we're on to our last point in today's webinar. The last ingredient is to get help. This is not a sign of weakness. This is a sign of strength. A lot of people that I have coached feel like they will be looked at as incompetent if they ask for people's help. They won't be a successful parent if they ask for a friend's help, especially if you're asking for help when what you're going to be doing is taking time for yourself. So that's kind of where it gets messy and blurred. All the lines start to fade. Are you important enough to take time for? Are you important enough to ask for help? Others actually view you, this has been proven, as competent, more competent, when you're willing to ask for help. They view you as having a stronger character. It's really cool. I've read a couple studies on this. We were made to be in relationship with one another. It's a beautiful thing. If you were the only one created on this world, on this earth, then I could understand not asking for help. But one, you're not created perfect, and that's okay. Neither am I. We were created incredibly with beautiful talents and strengths, but we also have weaknesses, and we are not super powered people. We are capable of a lot, but we were meant to be in relationship with people. We were meant to need one another and to share in that beautiful exchange of strength and weakness. And, you know, it just builds your connection with other people. It lets other people help and feel like, you know, feel needed. And people are almost all the time, they're happy to help you. And they feel like you value them as a person in relationship with them more when you ask for help. Here's another testimony from a client of mine. She's a lawyer in Vancouver. She's just a fabulous spiritual woman. And I love what she shares here. As she worked on herself and she prioritized some of her goals that were very personal and some of her dreams in life, she noticed shifts in her workplace. Really cool. So her time management increased. Her ability to really manage her finances more effectively, that improved. She was able to change her mindset. This is big for my clients. Change her mindset to that one of excellence rather than avoiding things or feeling insecure due to fears. She doesn't operate out of a fearful mentality anymore because of the systems that she learned. So these clients of mine, they get results, and it makes me incredibly happy. My question for you is, how long are you willing to wait for the perfect timing? I really love that there's this Chinese proverb, I quote it all the time. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is now. So why wait, right? Yeah, the best time was 20 years ago to make a change in your life, but now you have another opportunity. What I offer in my group program is really incredible support, a lot of accountability, high accountability, and mentorship that is better than I have seen offered anywhere else. The group that I run is tight. It's a very positive place, an open place, a non-judgmental place where women can gather. I'm bringing men into the program too, but it's interesting how much support and how much encouragement happens in this group. So I'm in the group with you, but then you're surrounded with other people who are all on the same journey of personal growth. So that support and accountability you get in that group is beautiful. What is it costing you? What's it costing you to not make a move and not make any of these changes that have been on your heart? It could be costing you in your relationships because of how you're communicating due to not feeling as best as you could inside. It could be costing you because you're not playing big. You're playing small in some area of your life. And so you're holding back from becoming the woman or the man that you're meant to grow into. It could be costing you because you don't have the time to connect with your family the way you want to feel connected. It could be costing you because you're not where you want to be in your body. You're not where you want to feel emotionally. You might feel frustrated or stuck, like you're spinning your wheels because you don't have a plan. So what's it costing you to not take action? Ask yourself this. Just going to grab a sip of water here. Sometimes it's not just the price that we are paying when we don't take action. Others often pay a price as well. Our family, co-workers, boss, maybe employees, they all pay a price as well due to us not feeling as happy, as satisfied, fulfilled, on fire as you want to feel. On fire in a really good, alive way, obviously. So you have a choice. You always have a choice. What do you want to do about it? Nothing? Or do you want to make some changes? So in the next 30 days, what would happen in your life if you had more time? If you decreased your stress, what would that make possible? My offer for you is to create that amazing life balance, to create strategies for yourself and an action plan that you can actually implement in the next 30 or 60 days and see new results. That's exciting. So you're going to be able to conquer your stress. And by conquer, I mean like you're standing on it. It doesn't have any power over you anymore. And you're going to be able to kickstart your health and feel refreshed. This is the program that I offer. It's the best program out there called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. And why I think it's the best is because of how it's run and what you get inside. So it runs for 6 months long from the time you sign up. I give you one-to-one private coaching every month. So the first month is an hour and a half, and every month after that is an hour long, where you really get my mentorship and you get my laser focus on your life and what you're working on so that you can have breakthroughs in those areas and you know how to take steps and what to work on to get closer and closer to meeting those specific goals every month. I also have group coaching where we talk once a week on Tuesdays for an hour, and I train for a short period of time on those calls. And then we have a lot of time for Q&A where people can get direct support and accountability for what you're working on and making those changes. So that's where the juiciness occurs, in those private sessions and in the group coaching that happens weekly. All calls are recorded if you can't be on live. And then you get lifetime access to these modules I've created for you. They're audios, videos, and worksheets, and they are in the private Facebook members area. So you get lifetime access to those, and you can open them and listen and watch and print them out to your heart's content and work on them in your own time. So that part of the program is very flexible. You can find out more about the program here, amyengelmark.com/about. You'll see my story there. You'll see who the program is created for, what you'll get out of it, all the results, and then you'll see what I talk about in the modules. So we cover everything from life balance. Oh, let me go back here. Stress management, how to transform your beliefs so that they're ones that support you instead of ones that strip you of energy and life. How to really break through fear and self-doubt so that you are confident and energized and you feel like you have tools, you have strategies now to be able to move forward and experience growth in these areas. Let me just turn this off. So my offer here is to help you. So I've set aside time in the next week or so for about an hour to have with each of you to help you figure out if this program is the best one for you. So you can have more fun, more free time, travel. I absolutely love to travel. So you can enjoy those great relationships with the people that you want to see more often and not deal with so much stress in your life. So I'll walk you through all the steps you need to take. I'll help you get really crystal clear on where you might be held back right now so that you can get the results that you want to get. And it is completely free. And you can apply at the bottom of that same page where the program information is at amyengelmark.com/about. Here's another client testimonial I want to share with you. I really love that as this woman worked on herself, she started noticing beautiful ripple effects in her parenting, in how she viewed her husband, and how she noticed that she was being, she noticed she needed to let go of control a little bit at home. Let go just a little bit by little bit, and what happened was a beautiful thing. Her children and her husband responded beautifully, and she became more happy. So she talks a lot about how I have the ability to really be intuitively ask you questions that bring out your best side and help you answer your own questions. It's what I love to do. So if you want some personal changes, this group is where you're going to find them. So let me leave you on this slide here so you can see, there we go. You can see where to find the information. And now I will ask you a question so that one of you on the call can get this coloring book. It's beautiful. As I was writing in it, I was thinking, ooh, these would be fun. I've never done one. So let me ask you this question for you, those of you who follow me on Facebook or YouTube or have been watching these webinars already. What is my favorite sport? Do you know what my favorite sport is? I gave you a hint already in this video. Let me take off the screen share. There we go. Yep. Oh, you guys were so close, but I have to give it to you, Meta. Lisa, you're right as well. Meta got to it before you. So Meta, you would, if you don't mind, if you want to share your, yes, surfing would be the next best thing, Lisa. And I just need to get a new wetsuit because I have my old sweet board from when I was 16 and it's in fine condition, but I'm missing one of those supple new wetsuits. My old one, I would raise my arms and then it would, you know, like it was so old, the neoprene was so old, my arm would slap down to my side and my shoulders were getting really sore. So Meta, what I need from you is your address. So you can either share it in the chat here so that I can mail that book to you, or you can contact me by email. I think that Did I give you my email? I don't think so. Here, I'll give you my email if you don't feel like putting it in the chat bar there. Engelmark@gmail.com. You can let me know there as well, and I'll send it off to you. Make sure that you go to this link, everyone who's viewing live and everyone who's watching the replay, so that you can see about halfway down in the chat bar there, that sneak peek of my book, the 2 e-chapters that I shared with you, and you can apply the one step per day in your life to start seeing new results in these areas I've been training on. All right, so if you want to be in contact with me and you want my support and you want to see if this program is what you're looking for right now and if you're right for it, oh, okay, yeah, sure, Meta, I will send, okay, I'll send, yeah, did you see that? I'll type it in again, Meta. I wasn't sure what you were quite looking for there. Okay, just let me know if you see it there. engelmark@gmail.com. Yes, so if you want that time with me, you want to see if the program's right for you, it would be my pleasure to let you know. Oh, the chapters of my book, sure. It would be my pleasure to let you in on this free hour of my time. So contact me through my email or contact me through my website. Best to contact me at my About page. So let me give you those chapters again. One sec. Here we go. Should lead you to my website where there's a link, Meta, to those free chapters, okay? So before I close this, you're welcome. Before I close the webinar, are there any questions that you have from this specific training or any question that you have about me or what I offer? I'm open to hearing any questions that you have. And please feel free to share the training. I post all my training on YouTube as well after the recording is finished, so you can visit it there. You'll also get the replays in your email, your inbox, or check your other boxes as well in case it goes there. Yeah, so I'll just wait. There's a little bit of a lag on the webinar, so I'll wait a little bit longer to see if you have any questions about productivity, increasing energy, any of the ingredients, those 6 ingredients I shared today, if you have any questions. You're welcome, Lisa. Thanks for joining live. Oh, I'm glad I hit the nail on your head. Hopefully it wasn't too painful, Meta. I'm glad that those really spoke to you. And bye, Lisa. Yeah, I just really am thankful that it was what you needed to hear. So feel free to share and have a fabulous day. Cheers. Bye-bye.